All right, so there's Jonathan. We've got our first presenter on, and I'm showing 1 minute after. So to kind of keep an eye on the clock and be cognizant of everybody's time, Jonathan is going to be our first presenter with NucleusCare. And Jonathan, I'll turn it over to you and let you talk about Nucleus.
Sounds good. Thank you. So first, before I begin, I just want to thank you, Dustin, for organizing this conversation, but really all that you do to push the industry forward. It's really, I know in my career, I don't think I've ever seen one person have such an impact on an entire industry, and it's an inspiration to see what you do. And I think, the efforts of many people, and the benefits that many people will have over the next 10 years are really a tribute to you. So thank you very much for organizing this and all the work that you do.
Oh, thanks, Jonathan. I appreciate it.
So today I kind of want to go through three things. First, I'll kind of give everybody a brief overview of NucleusCare and our background, what we do. And then I'll do a demo, and then I'll leave time for questions, and hopefully do all that. And I'm hoping, well less than the half hour allotted to me. So, either we can have more time for the next presentation, or give everybody a little bit of time back in their day. So NucleusCare, I'll go through a little bit of the history, because partially it's interesting, but partially it explains how we got here. NucleusCare actually started as a company called Plain Nucleus about 5 years ago. I started it as a video intercom company. I was building a house in suburban Philadelphia. At the time I had 3 little boys. Now they got 4 kids, and we're running all over the place. We wanted an intercom to keep track of them, and went online and Googled Wi-Fi intercom, and I was shocked that it didn't exist. So I found a pretty amazing team of engineers, including one of my co-founders, Isaac Levy. He, and together with one of our other colleagues, basically helped build the technology behind Google Hangouts. And together we built a device that worked internally as a video intercom, but also because it worked over Wi-Fi, could work between houses instantly. So if you have one in your kitchen and one in your grandparents' kitchen, 100 miles away, you'd be able to call them just by tapping on a button, have an instant two-way conversation as if you're in the room together. We were able to get a pretty substantial venture capital backing for that business, including some top VCs, but also Amazon, Foxconn, even Joe Montana ended up investing. And it was going well for a while, until maybe it's about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Amazon, Facebook, and Google all kind of, I guess, maybe they saw this idea, maybe they just thought about them, by themselves. They all came out with relatively similar devices. And at that point, we were trying to think, okay, we can't compete, with these huge tech companies. What should we be doing with this amazing technology? And actually, it's someone in the, who provides services to the IDD, I guess, industry vertical, whatever you want to call it, kind of gave us the idea. He'd been using our regular Nucleus devices to provide remote monitoring services. And even though it was never designed for that, he was putting these intercoms into people's homes and using it to have like one-to-one video conversations. And we saw that actually. We went, he's based in Ohio, we went to Ohio and took a look at this, and so like, wow, this is pretty amazing stuff. And actually, it's one of the only times I can remember seeing that they talk about the mythical win-win-win, where everybody involved wins. So here, the state of Ohio, won because they were spending less money on remote monitoring than they would on having a direct care staff in the house. The monitoring company has higher margins using technology than they would sending a direct care staff into the house. And finally, and most importantly, the individual with disabilities gets this amazing sense of autonomy and independence by being able to use technology to live and to thrive and to grow, rather than have someone babysitting them. So it was really just an incredible, it was very eye-opening, and it was an incredible visit that the first time we went there. And since then, we've really been devoting a lot of resources, to this industry. And I will say we do IDD, and we also have a division that sells to senior living and assisted living facility communities as well. So that's kind of the background. And what we do is we adapted this device and the software to, you have a device that goes into someone's house, And through that device, a remote monitoring staff can have one-to-one video conversations with them, but they also can send messages and alerts, upload pictures. Family members have an app that they can use to call and have video conversations with the individual as well. So it really helps people stay independent, but yet feel connected and feel like they have a relationship with their care staff, even though they could be 5 miles away, 100 miles away. It doesn't really matter. They just don't have to be there sleeping on a couch overnight. Before I move into the demo, maybe I'll stop there. Maybe has any kind of questions or comments there before I kind of move into the demo and kind of better explain exactly what it is that we do.
We haven't had any questions come in yet, Jonathan, but yeah, it's a reminder for you guys, just go ahead and throw them in the chat box and I'll keep an eye on that and let you know, Jonathan.
Okay, sounds good, thank you. So there are 3 pieces to the system. So the first is the device itself, which I'll hold up and I'll show you here. So this is a NucleusCare device. It can be wall mounted or go on a desk or table. As you can see, there's a digital picture frame that can run when it's not being used, and family members can upload pictures there. It has the time, the date, the weather. This is all configurable. Then when you tap it, so the pictures go away, and now you can see there are different options. So the big blue button at the bottom is to make a call to your care staff. Then across the top, there's an emergency button, a family call button, and memory box, which is really the digital picture frame button. And because this is built for an IDD population, everything here is configurable. We've heard from providers that say that some of their clients get very irate when they see bad weather, for example. So you can just remove the weather from their devices. We have people who say that their clients are playing with the settings menu. We put a software lock on the settings so that you can only access it if you have a PIN. So things are definitely helpful when you can kind of customize things directly for the population that you're dealing with. So that's the first part of the system, is the device itself. And the 2 other components are a mobile app. So we have mobile apps both for care professionals as well as for family members. So for both of them, they can receive calls and make calls directly from their mobile app. So let's say someone requests a call from their device, and maybe the remote monitoring staff is unavailable, or they're on the road, or they're not in front of their computers. They'll still receive that call on their mobile, and they can answer directly from their mobile. And the third part of the system, which I'll try to present now, I might need your help, Dustin, to show my screen. But I'll show there's the web portal, and that kind of forms the core of the system. So how do I show? Oh, I guess share.
Yep. Yeah. If you hit the share button down at the bottom, then select.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Okay. Do people see my screen now?
Yeah, we've got you, Jonathan.
Okay, great. So first, I'll show what we're looking at right now is actually, this is only accessible to us. Here in NucleusCare, this is not accessible to our partners. But what this shows is that we can configure everything as part of the system. So here, depending on what you call your clients, do you call them patients, residents, clients, whatever you call them, we can change that. We can change when they place a call, and if someone's not available, we can show a different message. We can, on the device itself, do I call it, call NucleusCare, or call Acme Care? Do I call it emergency or urgent? Every single button can be labeled and changed directly for you, depending on how you use it. On the device itself, again, everything here can be configurable. Do you want to show the call request button? Do you want to show there's a different button, check-in for when a care staff is on site, emergency call, family members, auto answer. This is kind of the heart of the system, auto answer. So when you place a call directly from the portal or from your mobile app, the individual does not have to answer the call. It just automatically starts a video call. That obviously has major privacy implications. So what we do here is you can enable or disable it at the account level. So over here, it's enabled for the entire account. But then on each individual's device, you can also choose to enable it or disable it on individual clients' devices. Alerts, we'll talk about alerts. I want to show you the main portal. But again, just to show you the power of the system, that everything can be configured by us directly to suit your needs. So now, going into the portal, so I'll just let everyone kind of orient themselves. So over here on the left, sorry?
Hey, Jonathan, I think that you are showing, I think you've shown a different screen than what you're manipulating right now, if that makes sense.
So what do you see on my screen right now?
It says account settings, and you're on an account string right now.
Okay, so let me switch. Okay, so that was correct up until now.
Yeah.
Switch my window. Let me see how I get back.
If you just click that share button again, and then it'll give you the option of which window you want to share.
Okay, let's see. Stop share, and then. Okay, do you see over here now staff in the top left?
Yep, we've got it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so now this is the window that you would see, right? So I'll let everybody orient themselves. So staff, this is, you can add your own, staff. Residents, this could be, whoever you want, clients, patients, however you refer to them. The queue, this is when you have incoming calls, they go here. So if you have 10 people who call at once, they'll list all of them here in the order that they were received. Alerts, we'll talk about this soon, but different types of actions can throw an alert. For example, if let's say someone called and no one's called them back within 5 minutes, that will throw an alert, and that alert will go here. Messages, this is where you send messages to the device. So now I'll start with residents. So here's your list of residents. This is just our internal team account. So I'll click on mine. And then you can see here, so this is the device name. It'll tell you when it was connected, online or offline. It can even tell you the temperature and humidity in the room itself and send you an alert if it's too high or too low. And then here are your buttons. You can make a video call, an audio call, or auto answer. Right, so auto answer means you just jump in without them answering. A video call means that they do have to answer when it's ringing. Down below here, so to be able to send messages, right? So we have a lot of clients who want to know, for example, that their clients are up in the morning. Your mornings are a very busy time, so you can send a message. And I'll enable a voice message. That means that it's going to read the message out loud when it's received. So you can send a message that will be, let's say, are you awake? You can have it as a single, so you have plain text, which is just a straight up message. Single choice means you can choose, yes or no, or multiple choice means you can select multiple options. So let's say single choice. You can enter whatever options you want if you want custom, or you can do, let's say, yes, no icons. So check or yes, check or X. You can set an alert if the person does not respond with this in a certain amount of times, and you'll get an alert back into that alert center I mentioned. You can also get email or text message alerts. And then let's say, you'll want a response if they're not awake. If they tap no, that they're not awake, for example. You can send now, which is send it right away. You can schedule it and repeat if you want. Let's say you want to send this every day at 8 a.m. Are you awake? You can do that. So you just save, you confirm, right? And then that message will go and be sent directly to the device. And then so messages are, so these are scheduled. This is delivered. It means that this message has been sent in the past. I'll show you that tab in a minute.
Are you awake?
So if you heard that means, so when it came to the device, right? So now it shows up on the device. And let's say if I tap X, so it'll save the message, and then it'll throw an alert up onto our alert center, because I said alert me if the person says no. Right, so these alerts can be extremely powerful, right? Some of them could be directed at your clients. Did you take your medicine? Are you awake? Are you home? Is your let's say if you're turning monitoring on and off, is there direct support professional? Have they arrived? So these are very important and can really reduce the number of calls that you need to make. The delivered messages, you'll just see, right? So it's delivered, and it'll tell you what the person answered over there. You can also send biometric messages. I won't show it right now, but these are, you can ask someone, what's your weight? What's your blood pressure? What's your blood sugar? And also be alerted if those values are outside of a range that you set. I'll move to the queue quickly. So this is, I'm gonna tap I tapped the button on my device to initiate a call. So you can see now over here on the left, right? The queue started, and now I have a call in here that says it was placed 8 seconds ago, right? And this is a regular call, not an emergency call. I'm just going to hang up so that we don't all get the feedback of having 2 cameras and microphones feet apart. I'll move into the alerts tab, right? So this is alerts. These are calls not answered, right? So it mentioned this a few minutes ago. If a call has not been answered by a certain time, you can get an alert. You can get an alert when the device goes offline. So if someone unplugs it, they have a power outage, etc. And then down here, home environment, if it went above or below a certain degree. Message alerts, right? Did you take your meds or something like that? Right, so you can get alerted to certain types of messages. And then over here, this is just a different view of the messages. This is, you can send from this tab, you can send to all your clients. Like, let's say, for example, you want to do a survey. You want to send to all your clients, how do you like Acme Care? 1 to 5. So you can send this from here, and that will go to all your clients simultaneously, and you'll be able to view the results in kind of one centralized location. I know I've kind of dumped a lot of information out here, and I went through a lot of things only briefly, but I do want to respect everyone's time. So I'll pause there. Feel free to ask any questions, or let me know if there's anything you want me to go through a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, no, I'm not seeing any questions pop in yet, Jonathan, but I kind of have one. So you had mentioned that that this is also available through an app, right? So I'm assuming Nucleus is kind of being used by family members who want to stay connected with their loved one as well, as well as maybe provider agencies that are using the Nucleus device as a quasi form of remote monitoring or remote sports. Is that right?
So the second part is that so we only sell kind of B2B. So we'll sell to provider agencies, we'll sell to remote monitoring agencies that want to use this with their clients, but we don't sell directly to individual families. So the first part is correct insofar as family members can use it to check in on their loved ones without us being involved at all, but they'd have to get the device through their provider agency.
Okay, that makes sense then. We do have a question. How many individuals report biometrics? Can individuals turn this off?
So yeah, everything is configurable. So let's say we can turn biometrics on or off at the account level, and let's say this provider agency doesn't want biometrics, we'll just turn that off for the whole agency. We can turn it on for the agency, and then they can choose which clients or which devices get biometric information.
So kind of everything is configurable, sounds like.
Yeah, and everything is configurable. I'd say every single one of our clients, their view, their portal looks a little different, their device looks a little different, because everyone has kind of unique requests. And I'd say we're not limited even to the configurations that you see today. Most of the features that we've built, we work so closely with our partners that we collaborate on new features. So I'd say, I'd say almost all the features that you see here today were a result of partners of ours asking us, hey, can you do X, Y, and Z? And not only are we open to that, we love that type of collaboration because it's you guys who are on the front lines to understand the needs of your clients, and we're just kind of back here building technology. So you telling us what would be helpful for you is how we make the product better.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm not sure that I asked that question the right way. I think what the person was trying to ask was, how does the individual report that data? So do they, if it's weight, do they just type in their weight and weigh themselves on a standard scale, or do you guys have, like a weight scale, a blood pressure cuff, glucometer, that kind of thing tied in?
Okay, got it. And thank you for that question. So I'll show you how we do it today. Today, you just send a message. So if you go into, let's say, messages, click new message, you choose, let's say, a biometric type message over here. Now, can you see the drop downs?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so these are different kind of preloaded messages: blood sugar, weight, blood pressure, hours, heart rate, oxygen, temperature. Let's say choose blood sugar, for example. Right, so this is what the client will see. Enter your blood sugar, right? And then let's say you're going to save this, and so it's going to get sent right now. I'll show you what it looks like on the device itself. And yeah, that the client would enter themselves. And you can set alerts for that. Let's say biometric alert settings. So you can choose when you want to be alerted. Let's say for blood sugar, if it falls outside this range, so if they enter 69 or 141, then you'll get alerted if it's outside that range. Otherwise, it'll just store it for the future. In terms of devices, we have in the lab, we do have Bluetooth biometric devices like scale, blood pressure cuff. I think maybe a glucometer, but I'm not sure about that.
Enter your blood sugar.
Okay, if you just heard that, it read itself out loud, they'll get this screen on their unit. So it is something that is possible, and something we're open to trying if someone has a real need for using a Bluetooth type device to collect the biometric data.
What about other sensors? That was one of the other questions that just came in. I'm guessing they're probably talking about door, window sensors, motion detectors, those kinds of things, smoke detectors, et cetera, et cetera.
So I'll talk about what we are currently working on and then the future. So currently working on, we have a Bluetooth button. It is not a PERS button. I want to be very clear, it's not a PERS button, but it acts like a PERS button, right? So we don't want to stand behind it in terms of saying use this for life safety functionality, but it has a similar type of functionality, which is it's a button that you press it and it will initiate an emergency call from the device. So we have that as a form of a sensor, I guess, if you will, that you press that and you'll get a call, emergency call initiated. Other sensors, it's something that we've thought about and would like to consider doing in the future, but definitely it would be a lot of work, so we need someone with scale. If someone wants 100 homes or something like that outfitted with sensors that will throw devices, that's certainly something we're happy to talk about.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Tough to devote all those resources into something until you get enough people to want it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've got to tell everybody that Jonathan was nice enough to let me test out and play with the Nucleus device. I have it sitting in my home office, and will occasionally use it to call and interact with my daughter, and it's great. So loving what you guys are doing, Jonathan.
Okay, thank you very much, Justin. Thank you again for your time and all your efforts. And so if anyone is interested in continuing the conversation, has any questions about using this for themselves or their agency or their loved one, you can reach me at Jonathan, that's JONATHAN, at NucleusCare.com. Dustin also has my information, and Dustin, feel free to share it with whoever wants it.
Okay, great. And I shared a link to their site as well when we first started, and I just threw your email address in there, Jonathan. So thank you very much again for your time, and you guys can all reach out to Jonathan or to me if you need to get in touch with him. So.
Okay, thank you, and thank you everyone for listening. I appreciate it.
Great, thanks.